President Cyril Ramaphosa has sold a number of cattle at his Phala farm in Limpopo. The National Ankole auction took place under tight security earlier. The farm has been thrust into the spotlight with the revelations of a 2020 robbery there and a wave of money laundering allegations leveled against President Cyril Ramaphosa. Well, ENCA reporter Muloko Mloto was there and joins me now for an update. And Muloko, the auction has ended. Just take us through the main highlights. What happened? Who came and bought what? Were we even allowed a glimpse into the goings-on at Phala farm? And my goodness, are we all interested now that we know what happened in March 2020?
Hello, Tula Sizwe. Unfortunately, we have been reporting throughout the day from the sidelines. We were never allowed inside the farm, and even in front of the farm, we did not have reception. So we had to report at least a kilometer or two away from President Cyril Ramaphosa's Phala Wildlife Farm here in Bela in Limpopo province. Of course, we tried to follow the proceedings online, although the information really was not that helpful. But we have learned that actually the highest price for one Ankole cattle was at around 1.6 million rand. We are hoping, of course, that the organizers of this auction will at a later stage confirm this and many other details. What we know for a fact is that the president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, was part of this auction. He's been here since last night as part of the gala dinner that was taking place here last night. Even today, we are told that he's been part of this. And according to information that was issued 2 weeks ago by the Ankole Breeders Association of Society of South Africa, the president's cattle were also part of the auction. But importantly, the cattle that the president breeds are not located at Phala. They are somewhere at one of his other farms in Mpumalanga province. But someone who has been part of this auction is Mr. Joseph Radipere, and he joins me now. Mr. Radipere, you have been part of the auction. For the benefit of our viewers, people who have absolutely no idea what happens in events such as this, paint us a picture of what actually transpired here.
No, it's just the farmers that we gather together, and then if you want the cattle that is on auction, then you buy. If you are interested in breeding, or you just want the cattle for some other reasons that you want it for.
Talking of buying, you told me earlier that you also bought yourself. What kind of a cattle did you buy, and how much did you spend as well?
But we just highway Pete, but just one.
You bought one?
Yeah.
Is this your first Ankole cattle, or do you have more?
No, it's first.
What is so important and significant about this cattle to a point that people would be willing to dig deeper in their pockets and spend even more than $1 million? Specifically, what do you intend to do with this one cattle you bought?
The settler has got his own fancy life and all those, but for those farmers that are doing intensive breeding, then they've got the inside understanding of why I get an Anglo breeding cow.
The president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, we understand, was part of this proceeding since yesterday, gala dinner, even today throughout the day. Do you know whether some of his cattle were sold here? Do we know the numbers?
No, I'm not sure if his cattle were on or not, but then the cattle were bought.
This Phala farm has been hogging media headlines for wrong reasons. We know money was stolen here, it was never reported, and today we're having this auction. What is your view about the fact that after the money was stolen and all this controversy, the president is hosting this auction at his farm today? This whole criminality and secrecy around it, what do you really think about it?
Well, I'm just a businessman, not much into politics, but I think I don't know. I don't know how to comment on that one, but he's a businessman also. He's a farmer. We're farmers. So, yeah.
Do you know if the transactions that were made here, in some instances, people were paying cash? Did you see some US dollars exchanging hands?
No, no, sir.
How were you paying, not only yourself, but other bidders?
EFTs.
So there was no cash at all?
No, no.
Mr. Radipere, thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck as a farmer. To as well, we are unable really to determine whether the president sold his cattle, but from what I was told, all the cattle that were up for on offer were essentially sold. So we can safely say that his cattle was also sold.
Muluku, let me prick your political brain for a moment. And it's a question you raised with the gentleman you just interviewed now. Ahead of this auction, there was a conversation that says, wow, the timing couldn't be worse to actually continue and go ahead with an auction of this nature at that farm while it's hogging the headlines, as you say, for all the wrong reasons. And also importantly, while we have absolutely none of the key answers to the key questions that many South Africans are asking. What is your, of course, the auction was not planned around us, and we accept that. You know, we don't know when it was scheduled, etc., and what went into it. But what is your reading of President Ramaphosa's state of mind, I would say, at least politically, around him forging ahead, this auction happening at his farm, despite all the controversies and all the talk and people lamenting the timing of it all? What are we to read into it?
Well, I think it's about the optics, Tulas. Surely the president wants to be seen, not necessarily running away from what he has declared to be his love for this particular type of business, farming. We know he told delegates at the ANC provincial conference in Limpopo that he is a farmer, you know, saying that the money that was stolen here was really a proceeds of a legitimate business, going on to say that he has never stolen money from the taxpayer. And that was, you know, he was responding to a question that really nobody was interested in. I don't think there was any person who accused him of stealing the money. The question was whether he has declared the foreign currency here, and we wanted to know the reasons why he had to keep the money here. But considering the fact that we are in a very busy political year, I mean, just next month, the ANC is going to be hosting its policy conference, and in December, the party will be convening to elect the new leaders, and Ramaphosa certainly wants to retain his position. Obviously, all these things are playing out, you know, in that context. And despite the fact that the president has really not been willing to divulge much details, but for him, despite all this controversy, to come here, it's more of a PR exercise. And I did try to reach out to the presidency, you know, just to confirm whether he would be here and whether he would be bidding. And the answer was interesting from his spokesperson from the presidency, Mr. Vincent Magunya, saying, look, we are, from the presidency, are not part of this, really. It's not a matter of government. However, considering that money was found here, we are now going to be asking questions to the president to say how much money was made here. And considering that he has refused to tell us how much was stolen, I really am not holding my breath in as far as that is concerned. But obviously this is for him. I think he's really he's going out on a PR exercise, despite the fact that he did not allow mainstream media to come and witness. And that veil of secrecy can be a bit problematic. The question is, what is he hiding?
Yeah, there's certainly a message there in him going ahead, being present at that auction that some people are questioning in terms of the timing, to say the optics, as you say, just don't look right while we have so many unanswered questions. I suppose he, from his vantage point, believes this is the message he should be pushing forward and communicating in as far as this matter is concerned at this very moment. Muluku, before I let you go, just talk to me about what was transpiring outside the farm itself. Just what was the look and feel, what it looked like, the presence. I heard earlier on that even SARS were visible in terms of their presence. That's an interesting turn of things. I don't know, you and I have never been part of these auctions before, so we don't know whether SARS were there previously, but certainly it's interesting to observe that they made sure that they were visible this time around.
Well, Tula, starting from last night when we arrived here, we were obviously not allowed to go in. And in fact, the police who were at the gate were very hostile towards the media, telling us that we are not even allowed to be in front of the gate. They told us to go to the intersection, which is located about 11 kilometers away from where we are now. And this morning, obviously, they were a little bit relaxed. And as much as they were not allowing us to go in, however, it was impossible to report. Even now, we are not reporting directly from the entrance of the farm. We have had to go at least a kilometer or two away because there is no network or cell phone reception there. But the fact that there was so much security in the form of the police, obviously it was clear that the head of state is here. What I've observed is that obviously this was a gathering of the elites, Tulas, people with deep pockets, the type of cars that were seen driving into the farm, your Maybachs, your Bentleys, and in some instances you could see the blue lights or cars, black cars fitted with blue lights, an indication that perhaps that car was carrying a dignitary from the Northern Cape province. We don't know who they were, but we understand obviously that this has attracted a whole number of people from as far as the Eastern Cape, the Free State as well. I think the interest now is to say, in total, just how much money was made here at the president's farm and who are the beneficiaries, and most importantly, how much did the president make?
Yeah, all right. Thank you for that. That's ENCA's Muluku Mloto out in Bila Bila. Thank you for that correction. I now know Muluku out there reporting for us and just focusing on the auction, the Ankole cattle auction that has taken place at President Cyril Ramaphosa's Phala farm in Limpopo.